The average man comes to Wall Street seeking a fortune, but he fails to understand that his first and most critical task is not to make money, but to keep from losing it. He is driven by greed and intoxicated by hope, two of the speculator's most deadly enemies. He sees the potential for a 20-point gain and forgets the possibility of a 20-point loss. This fundamental misunderstanding of the game's nature, this failure to grasp that defense is more important than offense, is the primary reason why so few ever succeed. They risk wrong, and in doing so they lose all. For those who are committed to a deeper, more methodical study of the principles that governed Livermore's legendary career, the essential text remains Edwin Lefebvre's 1923 masterpiece, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. It is a book that transcends time, offering profound insights into the unchanging nature of markets and men. We highly recommend the edition that features a unique, detailed chapter-by-chapter analysis by Max Davidson, an interpretation specifically designed to translate this century-old wisdom for the modern reader, making its lessons more powerful and accessible than ever before. A link to this essential edition has been provided for you in the description below. Livermore's philosophy of risk was forged in the fires of his own early failures. He had been a millionaire and he had been broke more than once. This brutal cycle taught him a lesson that became the cornerstone of his entire methodology. A speculator without capital is like a shopkeeper without inventory. He is out of business. Therefore, the protection of that capital was not just a prudent guideline. It was his single most important objective, taking precedence over any potential for profit. He summarized this entire philosophy in a few simple, powerful directives that he repeated throughout his life. The first and most famous was, "Cut your losses quickly." He believed with the conviction of a man who had paid dearly for the knowledge that the first loss was always the smallest and best loss. It was a small tuition fee for being wrong. To allow that small loss to grow was to compound the initial error, to let a manageable problem fester into a catastrophic, account-destroying wound. The second directive was a direct corollary of the first: never average down. The practice of buying more of a stock as it falls in price in the hope of lowering one's average cost was, in Livermore's view, a form of financial suicide. It is an act born of pure, unadulterated hope, the hope that the market will reverse and vindicate a decision that it has already proven to be wrong. It is, to argue with the tape, a debate no speculator has ever won. When a stock declines after you have bought it, the market is sending you a clear, unambiguous signal: your timing is wrong. To buy more is to willfully ignore that signal. It is to pour good money after bad. Livermore saw this not just as a strategic error, but as a psychological flaw. It was the refusal to admit a mistake, a submission to the ego's desire to be proven right, even at the cost of one's entire stake. The professional, he knew, must be able to accept being wrong without it damaging his confidence or his capital. He often said that profits can always take care of themselves, but losses never do. A profitable position does not require your constant attention or your emotional support. It is working for you. A losing position, however, is a problem that only grows worse with neglect. It occupies your mind, clouds your judgment, and prevents you from seeing new, more promising opportunities. The only solution is to amputate it, cleanly and without hesitation. The pain is sharp but brief, and it allows for a swift recovery. This principle is not just about avoiding ruin, it is about maintaining the capacity to act. The speculator who takes a small loss keeps his capital intact and his mind clear. He is ready to re-enter the market when a true opportunity presents itself. The speculator who allows a loss to run, who is trapped in a losing position, is not only losing money, but is also losing his chance. He is paralyzed, unable to act on new information, his capital held hostage by a past mistake. This, Livermore understood, was the true, unforgivable sin of risk mismanagement. Let us illustrate this with a simple, cold mathematical reality. For the market is a game of numbers, not of words. Imagine a speculator whom we shall call Mr. Hope, who begins with a capital of $10,000. On his first trade, he risks a significant portion of his account, say 20% or $2,000. He is wrong. His capital is now $8,000. Feeling the pressure to recover, he risks 20% again on his next trade. That is a $1,600 bet. He is wrong again. His capital shrinks to $6,400. Notice the insidious effect. His percentage risk remains the same, but the dollar amount he can risk is decreasing, making a recovery harder. Let us say he is wrong just 3 more times in a row, a common occurrence for even the best traders. His capital will dwindle from $6,400 to $5,120, then to $4,096, and finally to a mere $3,277. In just 5 losing trades, he has lost nearly 67% of his original stake. His ability to trade is crippled. His confidence is shattered. His journey as a speculator is, for all practical purposes, over. Now consider another speculator, Mr. Discipline. He also starts with $10,000. However, he adheres to a strict rule of never risking more than 2% of his capital on any single trade. His first trade is a $200 risk. He is wrong, the same as Mr. Hope. His capital is now $9,800. For his next trade, he recalculates his risk. 2% of $9,800 is $196. He is wrong again. His capital is now $9,604. He suffers the same 5 consecutive losses as Mr. Hope. Let us follow the numbers. His capital goes from $9,604 to $9,412, then to $9,224, and finally to $9,039. After 5 identical losing trades, Mr. Hope is nearly wiped out, having lost 2/3 of his money. Mr. Discipline, on the other hand, has lost less than 10% of his. He is still in the game. His capital is largely intact, and he is mentally prepared to seize the next opportunity. This is not theory. It is the brutal, unforgiving mathematics of risk. One path leads to ruin, the other to survival. This mathematical certainty is what so many traders fail to grasp. They are seduced by the allure of the large, quick profit. They believe that to make big money, they must take big risks. Livermore's entire career was a refutation of this idea. He understood that the big money comes not from taking big risks, but from correctly identifying a major trend and then compounding a position that is already showing a profit. The prerequisite for this, however, is that you must still be in the game when that major trend appears, and the only way to ensure that is to keep your losses infinitesimally small. The reason traders fall into the trap of improper risk is almost entirely psychological. The human mind is not naturally wired for the realities of speculation. We are creatures of hope and fear, and in the market, these 2 powerful emotions almost always work against us. When a trade goes against him, the average man does not become fearful. He becomes hopeful. He hopes the market will turn. He hopes his paper loss will be erased. He hopes he will be proven right. Hope in a losing position is the speculator's deadliest enemy. Livermore knew he had to reverse this natural impulse. He had to learn to fear a losing position and to hope in a winning one. When a trade showed him a loss, no matter how small, he became instantly fearful. Not of the loss he had, but of the much larger loss it could become. This fear was not a paralyzing emotion. It was a catalyst for immediate, decisive action. It was the trigger that forced him to cut the trade, to eliminate the source of the danger before it could grow. Conversely, when a trade showed him a profit, he became hopeful. Not the blind hope of the gambler, but the calculated hope of the professional. He saw the profit as the market's confirmation that his judgment was correct, and he became hopeful that this was the beginning of a significant move. This hope gave him the courage to sit tight, to ride the trend through its normal reactions. and to let a small gain grow into a great one. To fear your losses and hope for your profits, this simple inversion of human nature is one of the most profound secrets of his success. This psychological battle is the true heart of the game. It is a battle against oneself, against the ingrained instincts that are so useful in other areas of life but so destructive in the market. It is a battle against the ego, which hates to admit a mistake. It is a battle against greed, which whispers that you must risk more to make more. And it is a battle against the comforting illusion that the market owes you anything. Livermore learned that the market is an impersonal force, and it rewards discipline and punishes emotion with equal unwavering indifference. The journey of a speculator is often a solitary one, marked by the intense pressure of making high-stakes decisions alone. It is easy to lose perspective, to be swayed by the noise of the crowd, or to falter in your discipline after a series of setbacks. This is why we created this channel, to serve as a constant source of these timeless principles, a place you can return to, not just to learn, but to recalibrate your mindset. If you are committed to the path of a professional speculator, subscribe to our channel and return to these lessons. They are here to provide not just knowledge, but reinforcement and perspective when you need it most. Furthermore, we recognize that the wisdom of the markets is not confined to a single individual. Jesse Livermore was a titan, but there were other masters, Gann, Wyckoff, Baruch, each with their own unique style and philosophy. To explore this rich history of market genius, we have recently launched a new channel dedicated to studying the diverse strategies of the world's greatest traders and investors. If you wish to broaden your understanding and learn from a multitude of different styles, the link to this new channel is in the description below. Join us there as we continue to uncover the timeless secrets of Wall Street. In the final analysis, the rule that 90% of traders miss is not some arcane secret, but a simple, profound truth. You must manage your risk before you can even begin to think about managing your profits. It is the understanding that your first job is not to be a hero, but to be a survivor. Jesse Livermore's entire operational framework was built upon this single, unshakable foundation. It was a complete system of thought designed to protect him from the market's volatility, and more importantly, from his own human fallibility. He taught that you must never enter a trade without first knowing exactly how much you are willing to lose. That number should not be an emotional decision. It should be a cold mathematical calculation, based on a small fixed percentage of your total capital. This act alone, defining your risk beforehand, transforms a blind gamble into a calculated business venture. It is the first and most critical step towards professional speculation. He demonstrated that once a trade is entered, you must adhere to your predetermined stop loss without question or hesitation. The market will tell you if you are wrong, and it does so by moving against you. To ignore this message is an act of pure vanity. The price on the ticker tape is the ultimate truth, and it is a truth that must be respected above all personal opinions or hopes. When the market speaks, the wise speculator listens and obeys. His life was a testament to the fact that you cannot beat the market, but you can, with discipline and sound principles, join forces with it. By cutting losses, you ensure that you are never fighting a powerful trend. By letting profits run, you ensure that you are fully capitalizing on it. Risk management is the mechanism that keeps you aligned with the market's primary forces. It is the art of stepping aside when the tide is against you, and sailing with it when it is at your back. So, when you hear the phrase risk wrong, lose all, understand that it is not a mere warning, but a description of the natural law of the market. The speculator who fails to control his risk is ceding control of his destiny to an impersonal and unforgiving force. He is a ship without a rudder in the midst of a hurricane. Livermore's ultimate rule was this: you must either manage your risk or the market will manage your money for you, and its management style is always liquidation. To survive and to ultimately prosper, you must make the preservation of your capital your highest and most sacred duty.